Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing some Tarkov, and I'm going to be showing you guys the best way to make money on your scav. So with that, let's get right into the video. Alright, and we are in. We actually got a really early spawn. But the main two things I want to talk about is there's two really basic ways to make money on your scav. Now the first way is the one I'm going to be showing you today, and it's my personal favorite and the one that I actually like to do and enjoy. And that is actually coming into raids like customs or any other map and looking for bodies. And if you can't find any bodies, we're going to be looting the map for all the other loot that just randomly spawns. Now, this is just my personal preference. I think it's more enjoyable and a little bit more fun. And the reason I choose customs is because it's a pretty high PvP map, along with the fact that there's also a lot of loot spawns on this map. So in case you actually can't find any bodies to loot or they've all been looted, there are still a lot of natural occurring spawns that are super easy to get to, and you can get some really good loot from it. Now the second way though is going to depend on if you have high scav karma, because with scav karma, if you have decently high ratings with fence, you have a higher chance to spawn with stuff already in your backpack, and that stuff be worth more money. So if you have really high scav karma, you can load into a map like Factory and extract immediately and make tons of money. Now, I have pretty high scav karma and could do this, but honestly, I don't find it very enjoyable or very fun at all. So this is why I'm going to be showing the method that I use, but I just wanted you guys to know that that's an available option in case you don't like maybe taking the risk of running into PvP situations on your scav and you just want to be completely safe. But with that out of the way, I'm going to walk you guys through with how I loot. So we started out there on the spawn over there by old construction, and I just hit that hidden stash, and then I'm just looking for loot on the way to big PvP spots. So the first place I'm going to check is Cracked. And Cracked is hit or miss. It's always looted by PMCs, and there's usually a gunfight in here at some point. And a really neat trick in Cracked is a lot of people don't actually loot the bottom rooms, and there's usually a ton of loot in here. There's jackets, dead bodies, and there's even a hidden dead body that some of you might not know about that I'll show you in a second. So, and in my scav raids, another thing is, money's money. Like, this pack of cigarettes right here might not be worth very much, but it's better than having an empty slot, and if I find something better, I can throw them out and replace it if I run out of room. So, always keep that in mind in your scav. Money is money. And the hidden little scav spot is right here. Crouch down, walk forward. And this guy can actually spawn with some pretty good stuff. Like right there, not the best loot, but we'll take it. Now we're going to go upstairs, and upstairs we're not really going to do too much looting. We're mainly going to be looking for bodies. And here's where you got to be careful on PvP, because this room spawns intel, and it's very popular for people to hit. Alright, and the intel spawns are all on these shelves right here. Oh, I think we have friends. Don't have the best ammo, but if we run into somebody, we'll do our best. Now, all those filing cabinets, if you're in the raid super late and you have like Ruoff, they are worth it to loot. Now, my extracts are on the other side of the map. So Old Road Gate would be by dorms, Military Base CP is to the left of Admin Gate, and Crossroads and Trailer Park are on the other side of the river. So I don't have anything close to here, and it's pretty early raid, so I'm not going to risk looting those cabinets because they make a ton of noise. So I'm going to go through here, go ahead and clear it. Not a ton spawns in there, just a few med spawns. Now this is a room people like to sit in if they hear people coming. And there's a couple spawns in here on the shelves. Like, there we go. Some meds. There's ammo spawns on these crates. And I'm a little picky with my loot. Probably a little too picky. I could be making more money. But really, especially if you're kind of low, you should just be taking everything. But we'll make it work. Now, since we have a dorms extract, the main goal here is I'm going to go to Fortress, that big building right there that has the skeleton end, and that's because there's usually always a PvP fight in that building. Now, it's kind of risky going this early into the raid, and we might run into people, but there's also an extract there, and so we have to look out for extract campers in the basement. But if we find really good loot there, we can wrap around and extract, or if we don't find anybody, we can actually go straight to dorms, which is another big, heavy, contested spot on the map. And if you're going to these big spots like this, you do have to be careful because sometimes the boss can spawn, and say you don't have very high scav karma, the boss will try and kill you. So you actually have to have perfect scav karma for the boss not to aggro you now. In this building, just take it slow. Like, all this has been looted, and since those are still open, they've been here recently. And so we just want to take it slow, clear it room by room, and watch above you, because there's the likely chance if someone's here, they're going to be upstairs looking out, and they're going to spot you a long time before you spot them. So you just want to be careful and go slow. Now the next room is sugar. This is the room that you want to check. Make sure there's no one here. And I usually come over here and check these beds, because a lot of things can spawn on the beds in this map, including flash drives and all kinds of stuff. So I just always check them. Like, here's ammo, and here's sugar, which is actually worth quite a bit, and most people miss these. So now we're going to go over here to USEC stairs, which is actually, they lead to the basement where the extract is. And there's usually a lot of fighting that happens right in here. And I always like to come up these stairs, use this for cover, and check this side first. And then kind of, oh, see if we can get Scav to yell back. Now player scavs do spawn up here, and so you have to kind of be careful with player scavs, because you never know if they're going to be friendly or if they're going to try and kill you. And now at this point in the raid, we have two choices. So I can either go to dorms and look for dead bodies and hope to get loot that way, or I can wrap around that way and hit stashes. I could hit 3 stashes going that way. Actually 4, because there's one on this side of the railroad tracks, on the railroad tracks, and 2 on the other side. And I could wrap around that way and go to Old Gas. And that's a great way to get loot if you don't want to really get into the PvP scene. But I found it's usually more beneficial to try and find players, because you can get a lot more money from it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through and go straight to dorms. And if we don't find any bodies at dorms, we can always loot dorms. There's actually quite a few loot spawns at dorms that can make us a little money. And then we can extract. Because the biggest thing about these scav raids is you want them to be quick. You don't want to be spending, 20, 30 minutes in a scav raid, because no matter how long you're in the raid, it still has a full timer that it has to recharge. Now, mine's pretty fast. Here we go. Here we have a dead scav. Now, money's money, so it might be a Taz and a sling backpack, but we're still going to loot it. See? Aquamaris. Now, pockets, they're usually not worth it, but they could technically have key cards and stuff like that. Now, that body we are not going to loot, because it's on the road and it is in a wide open spot. Now, if it's super late in the raid, it would probably be safe, but it's still pretty early, and there's going to be a lot of PMC still on the map. And someone had to kill that scav, and they still might be close, so you just want to play it careful. And throughout the raid, I always just try and look at my inventory and just estimate how much money I have to see if it's worth it to get out. If I have over 200 to 300k, it's probably almost always worth it to extract. I try and not to leave without 150k. That's kind of like the bare minimum I try and get to make it worth it. But at the end of the day, any money you get from a scav is free money, so I think that's all the way across the water, so we should be good. But and now, if you like to check these high risk, high reward spots like dorms, I recommend you loot from the bottom up, especially the rooms by the stairs. People like to sit in those. Okay, this is gonna get interesting, because right now I'm gonna check to see if Car's still here. Car, I can't, okay. This is where you kind of gotta be careful, because there can be people in those rooms right there. on that side and above me. So I'm going to go ahead and clear above me first. You always peek right and then left. This little cover allows you to peek right first and do it a little bit more safely. Now looting on these stairs is extremely risky, but we're on a scav, so we're going to take the risk and try it. These guys look like they've been stripped pretty clean. Untar. Now, we're going to check and see if this guy is taking car extract or if he's still here somewhere. I always want to check this corner. People can sit right there and camp. Check that hallway and check these rooms. Now the car is gone. So what likely happened is the dude who survived this big battle, he started the car and he came in here. This is a very popular spot for PMCs to wait while the car is ticking down before they can actually take it, because it's a minute cooldown before you can actually ride out in it. And so we're relatively safe here, but you still want to keep our guard up just to make sure. So that SKS is worth more than this TAS. So we're going to take that, and then let's see here. So these aren't worth it. Those aren't worth it. That's not worth it. Move these up to single space slots. That's not needed. Move that here. And as you play the game more, you'll get a lot better at loot stacking and being able to fit stuff in your backpack. I think these guys have been pretty stripped, so we're going to check the guy on third. Make sure he doesn't have anything. You always want to check under bodies, because a lot of people, when they loot, they don't want other people, say if they can't fit it, to get the loot that they got. And so a lot of times they will throw it underneath a body to actually hide the loot. Like if you can see that fast MT down there. So what we're going to do is take this off, throw that out for a second. We're going to put that on. And there's more stuff underneath him, like these headphones. Now some stuff you just won't be able to grab. The hitboxes cover too much of it. And sometimes you'll just be able to look at it like this and not actually be able to grab it. So it's kind of sad when that happens, but now this is the replica fast MT. So it's not worth a ton of money, but it's still money at the end of the day. So we're going to take it. Now this is interesting. So this AK is worth more than the SKS, and the SKS is worth more than the Mosin. A zeroed out tier 3. That's worth pretty much nothing. Now this is great for loot stacking. So we're actually going to take this. We're going to throw these out because they're empty. Throw this in here. We're going to throw this out. We're going to put that there. And there we can start loot stacking and throwing stuff that's actually worth money in there. And it's going to be a lot easier to loot. I honestly don't know. So what happened here is Rashala is underneath this body. So this guy was looting Rashala and got executed. Just kind of rough. So this is Rashala's gun, which actually we can fit right here. And it has some parts we can sell on it. Rashala's pockets, you always want to check those. Empty, empty. So, yep, they looted the ammo out of his weapon because he usually has pretty expensive ammo in it. We're just going to go through here, slowly check everything out, make sure there's no one on the roof. And we have the extract here, so we can take all the time we need to loot this. No rush. Now, let's see what this is. Oh, okay. So this is the marked room. It's a keyed room that's very expensive, but there's 3 item spawns here, and they can be pretty much anything in the game with a few exceptions. It's a very good key. It has very good spawn rates. So we're going to check roof. That is a player scav, and I really don't want to deal with him. And we have a decent amount of loot. We're pretty heavy, so we're going to come over here and do a little drop. And with that, we can run right over to this extract. And we'll call that a successful raid. So there's a few tips and tricks on how you can be more successful on your scav runs and try and get a little bit more bankroll so you can invest in your hideout or in better loadouts for your PMC. So I hope you all learned something, and see you in the next video.